Hi, Paul Sakis, Good News Broadcast. One of the most critical leadership positions in the Army is also one of the least known, the Warrant Officer, okay? And we are honored to have with us the Chief Warrant Officer 5, Patrick R. Nelligan, Command Chief Warrant Officer of the U.S. Army Reserve Command. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. I'm fantastic. Thank you.
We're going to talk about two anniversaries. We're going to talk about, in essence, this is the 104th anniversary of the soldiers, the technical experts, and leaders helping solve Army's Reserve most challenging problems. And today we're honoring them in the celebration of their 104th anniversary. But I also see it's your anniversary this year, 30 years in the Army when you were listed in 1982. Is that right?
So, actually 40.
Actually, 40, you're right.
It's like, okay, respect your host and don't question your math, but...
No question it. Oh, no. I was trying to figure out how old I was. I have a problem with that, too.
Yes, and to be very truthful, to give my age completely away, joining at 17, I actually enlisted in March, so I'm 40 and a half, going on 41, and I've loved every second of it. And the Army 104th is a milestone for us. You know, we're still the youngest of the rank structures. The Army was founded in 1775, so you can do don't do the math, but you get the gist of this. We're young compared to the Army, but quite honestly, we have done amazing things from the time we were, tasked to be warrant officers and take care of floating mines to where we are now being Army astronauts and cyber, and we're going to be part of the Space Force. It's an exciting time to be a warrant officer.
So let's, actually that name Warrant Officer for me is a little scary, that name. I don't know why, because the warrant is like a warrant for your arrest. How come, what is a warrant officer? And you use that name and in a good way here, I see. But right? Doesn't it have also other thoughts to it?
So Paul, I'm not gonna delve into your past and wonder if you've ever been served a warrant. But in our world, you're appointed by warrant, because until you become a Chief Warrant Officer 2, you're not commissioned. So a W1 is a appointed by warrant officer, and then when you become a W2, you raise your hand and assume the oath of a commissioned officer, much like a lieutenant does as a second lieutenant. So it's going back in our lineage 104 years, where as you're starting out this brand new rank structure that's going to be specialized for the duration of their life cycle, we weren't commissioning because it didn't fit the role. Because if we could commission, then the lieutenant could be working on mines. We needed a very particular branch specialty. So they appointed us warrants. And then as things progressed through the 104 years, they said, well, we're going to make those guys commissioned officers. Let's do it at W2. And that's how you have where we are today.
Did you say, and since I'm doing so questionable here as a host, did you say, I might as well ask another one. Did you say working on mines, M-I-N-D-S, or did I hear that wrong?
M-I-N-E-S is affirmative, and it was the ones that you remember watching when we were young. Ships would put them out, and then other ships from the bad guys would go and hit them and blow up,
mines,
etc.
Mines.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm glad.
Now, the mines, as in M-I-N-D-S, that's our psychological warfare, military intelligence, and we do that too, but we're just not going to talk about that too much today.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, all righty. We have that. Mines are very serious because you don't know where they are, and so in most cases, right, they try to hide them from you. It's not a good thing. Well, war is not a good thing. I remember Eisenhower said there's nobody that knows more about not liking war than a soldier. Nobody.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So we're involved with lots of things as well. So these things don't happen. So tell us, though, what does a warrant officer do?
So depending on one of the 67 specialties you could become a warrant in, including aviation,
Wow.
you would love your job as an enlisted soldier and work up through the non-commissioned officer ranks to be either a sergeant or a staff sergeant, and then say, where's my path go? Do I want to stay as a sergeant and lead troops and be a sergeant major someday, hopefully? Or do I want to continue to do my job for the duration of my career and get better at it and become a trusted technical expert, teacher, mentor, advisor? And then you go warrant. And with the rite of passage of getting into the warrant officer cohort, if you will, you go to warrant officer candidate school after you're selected, you go to your basic course and refine your skills, and then we keep you gainfully employed all the way up to old cotters like me to W-5 doing our technical specialty. And in my role right now, I manage all the warrants for the Army Reserve, and I'm the senior warrant officer advisor to the commanding general of the Army Reserve.
Wow, wow. The Army Reserve, the whole country, the whole America. There's a lot of reserve people, aren't there?
Global force, sir. Yes, 180,000 plus.
There you go. Well, you have a big job. Tell us about emerging technologies. You know, the youth of this world come out when they're born with a computer. So,
yes.
and they love technology. What are some of the warrant officers' work within that area?
So it's interesting you mentioned this generation, because obviously that's who we're looking for to replace people like me, and they are way more skilled. Technically, their visual acuity, their reaction time from gaming is exactly where the learning environments are going. And with artificial intelligence and cyber and the Space Force, this is probably the most exciting time to offer warrant officer opportunities to people that are considering joining the military, because there's not going to be a technology platform in the military, and specifically to the Army and the Army of 2030, that the warrant won't be involved in.
Wow. All right. Well, that's going to be helpful. And does the Army Reserve go through, I got a high lottery number and stuff like that, and blah, blah. So I was never in the Army. I thought it would have been a good thing for me. And I mentioned that I could have used that. I was a Boy Scout, but it's nothing like the Army. But do they go through a basic training? That's in the process of when you join the Army Reserves. Do you actually go away for like weeks and get your body and mind in good shape?
Oh yes, and you know, everybody's skill set and health level has to meet the basic standards of joining. But you go to basic training. As a brand new soldier, you learn your skills in what we call AIT, Advanced Individual Training, and then you serve your country, our country, and in an enlisted way, up to and including going as a sergeant. The difference for our aviators is we do what's called street to seat, where they can literally come from the outside, pass our aptitude tests, and then they go right to Warrant Officer Candidate School, which is, you know, basic training on steroids, because it hits different skill sets, and then they start aviation training. And anywhere from, 8 to 9 months, they're flying one of these multi-million-dollar platforms for the duration of their career. So that's the only difference with aviators, is they don't go to basic training.
Okay. Well, thank you. Two things. Happy 104th Warrant Officer anniversary. Happy 40th anniversary for you. And where can people go for some more information?
Thank you. Great question. www.usar.army.mil, or pop into a local recruiting station. All of those stations are dual purpose, and they can tell you everything about the Army, our 67 Warrant Officer specialties, and the Army Reserve.
We're so fortunate to have people like you in this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.